If you're loving this podcast, be sure to check out the full lineup. From news and local politics to sports and true crime. Find your next great listen right now at DuluthNewsTribune.com/podcasts. That's DuluthNewsTribune.com/podcasts.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Thursday, June 27th. I'm Dan Williamson with your Duluth News Tribune Minutes, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. City officials revisited plans to improve the safety of West Skyline Parkway and shared their proposal with a generally receptive crowd at Lincoln Park Middle School on Tuesday. City Administrator David Montgomery said several changes to the city's initial recommendations have been made in light of public comments collected when city staff last met with the public. A pair of recent tragedies heightened public concerns about the safety of West Skyline Parkway, particularly the segment between Anger Park Golf Course and North 10th Avenue West. Ken Bickle, age 70, was struck and killed while walking the scenic section of the road near the West 5th Street intersection on February 20th. Just 16 days earlier, Logan Woke died when his vehicle left the steep road below Anger Golf Course. The city proposed the segment of Skyline in question be converted to a one-way road, initially suggesting motorized traffic could flow from west to east. But Joe Jurowitz, a city traffic engineer, said residents emphasized they would prefer traffic to travel in the opposite direction, from east to west. The city's revised plan reflects that public preference. Vehicles traveling east will still be able to do so via Hank Jensen Drive, passing around the backside of Anger Park. Reducing Skyline to a one-way street will free up more of the road, allowing it to accommodate a designated 8-foot-wide walking and cycling path clearly defined with paint and separated from motorized traffic by flexible vertical delineators, similar to what the city has already installed in Lincoln Park. The city has already blocked off traffic entering or exiting Skyline from West 5th Street, and staff intend to do the same at the West 6th Street intersection. Before the city can institute the changes it proposes, Jurowitz said West Skyline Parkway would need to be removed from Minnesota's list of state aid routes, an action that will require city council approval. A priest who was banished 8 years ago following a child sexual abuse allegation will retire just months after he was reinstated by the Vatican. The Reverend William Graham, pastor at St. Michael's Catholic Church in the Lakeside neighborhood, will step down Monday after nearly 50 years of service to the Diocese of Duluth. Graham had been on administrative leave from the parish since May of 2016, when a lawsuit was filed accusing him of sexually abusing a teenager on at least 3 occasions in 1977 and 1978, when he was a teacher at Duluth's Cathedral High School. The priest fought a lengthy battle to clear his name of what he called a false allegation, culminating in a Vatican finding that there was, quote, not sufficient evidence presented to arrive at moral certainty that Father Graham was guilty of the accusation made against him, end quote. Graham, age 74, was removed from the diocese's credibly accused list in late March and had his duties restored, returning to preside over Mass for the first time April 13th. The diocese said in a statement Tuesday that Bishop Daniel Felton gave Graham the option to transfer to 2 parishes in another part of the 10-county region as part of a, quote, diocesan-wide clustering plan, end quote. But the priest declined, citing in part family considerations in choosing to retire instead. Graham's suspension came during the tenure of Bishop Paul Serba, who was then overseeing a lengthy bankruptcy process due to a change in state law that temporarily lifted the statute of limitations on sex abuse allegations. The diocese ended up receiving 125 claims, including the one against Graham. Graham's accuser, T.J. Davis, stood by his claims earlier this year, stating that the Vatican decision, quote, makes absolutely no sense to me, end quote, and declaring that Graham, quote, should not be a priest, end quote. Graham notably sued Davis over the allegations in 2016, leading to an unusual trial in which a Duluth jury awarded the priest $13,500 in damages. The verdict, which was later upheld by the Minnesota Court of Appeals, found that Davis had interfered with Graham's contractual duties but did not intentionally inflict emotional distress. For the latest from the Storm Tracker team, here is a look at your forecast brought to you by the News Tribune's Northlandia podcast.
Happy Thursday, here's the forecast for the Duluth area. We look mainly sunny across the region for most of the day, with only a few clouds on the increase later on. Afternoon highs look to be in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Overnight, rain chances will gradually approach from the west, with perhaps a few stray rumbles of thunder too. Showers and a few thunder showers linger through Friday and Saturday then as well, as temperatures briefly cool back into the 60s across the region. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Daly.
Thank you to the Northlandia podcast for their support. The bi-weekly podcast explores curious and unique stories here in the Northlands. The latest episode looks at scuba diving in Lake Orbegon. You can find that episode and others at DuluthNewsTribune.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Peter Passy and Tom Olson. Thank you for listening to the Duluth News Tribune Minutes. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.